Hi, I'm Don with Advanced Solar in San Antonio, Texas. Appreciate you visiting the site and watching our videos. We've got one subject matter comes up a lot is how fast will my solar pay for itself? Um, a lot of misleading information out there. There's three basic factors. It's basic math. We're in the energy business, okay? We're not selling equipment necessarily, but you're buying energy. You're buying electricity. So there's three major factors, three primary factors. One is how much did the equipment cost? And that usually comes down to cost per watt. So say it's $3 a watt, 7,000 watts or 7 kW, that's $21,000. Now, of course, that's before the rebates and tax credits, which brings it down. Also stimulates how fast that's going to pay for itself. So you've got the cost of the equipment, how much power will that equipment produce, and how much is the value of that power. So all three of those are factors in the equation of how fast will it pay for itself. Realistically, if you get below 10 years, it's a good value. You know, we have some situations that might be 12 or 13 years, 15 years. People are still buying solar because they want to participate in solar. They know it's an insulation against inflation. You know, if you're producing $200 a month worth of solar and the rates go up for everyone else, well, guess what? You're still locked in at what you originally paid. So every time a rate increase goes up, you're not going to feel that. So to give you an example of where there's kind of a wash, if you get up in a lot of areas of California, they have different rates and stuff, but the power can get kind of expensive, especially during peak demand times. So say it's 20 cents a kilowatt hour. Or you get on the East Coast, up in some of those areas, you know, the East Coast, you might have a 20 cent an hour, kilowatt hour, that's the billable unit of the power. So utility companies charging 20 cents a kilowatt hour. And then you go to areas like here in Texas, we're about 10 cents a kilowatt hour. So you put the same $21,000 system in, you know, upstate New York and South Texas. Same 21,000, same 7 kilowatt system. The one in upstate New York is going to produce about half of the electricity because of shading and the latitude. You know, shorter days, snow, you know, is going to hinder the production. So here in Texas, you have twice as much production. However, the electricity cost is half. So you have twice as much, but it's worth half. So it's really the same equation. You have a $21,000 system, produces half as much power in New York, but the electricity is twice the cost. So you have a certain value factor that's the same. So it really comes down to, in your local market area, how much is the electricity? Um, you know, are you able to take advantage of the tax credits? Are there any other incentive monies like instant rebates? But if you run the math and that number gets below 10 years, that's a pretty good value. Occasionally you'll find a real solid incentive program, an aggressively priced system or company, and then you roll the tax credit on top of that. You might get down to a 4 or 5 year break even. That's a fabulous deal. But it's, regardless of what it is, the cool thing about solar, that money you give your utility company every month is unavoidable because that money goodbye. You know, it's death, taxes, and utility bill. So if you're going to spend the money anyway, you might as well invest it in something you own. It's like buying a house versus renting a house, and your home value goes up. It's very tangible. You can look at reports from the Department of Energy, EPA, California Electric Commission, just about anybody out there. Anything that reduces your energy consumption in the house has a tangible value. So your home goes up in value. The home is more sellable. If you have an identical home down the street without solar, that's going to appeal to most people. But the whole how fast does it pay for itself factor, there's a lot of moving parts. You know, a competent and honest salesman will help you through that. Now, another factor that doesn't always play in is interest, because nowadays, you know, the cost of equipment has come down, but in our local market, the rebate has come down. Tax credit is still there. That's a 30% tax credit from the IRS. So with that, the break even's gone a little bit further out, but the out of pocket's a little bit higher. So we're doing a lot more financing nowadays. And we have everything from a 5 year 1.99 up to a 25 year loan at 4.99 or 4.49. They're all good values. You know, most people don't pay for 20 or 25 years. The industry, the banking industry that lends into solar, is telling us that most people are paying off in 5.5 to 6 years. So what the long-term financing allows you to do is get in with no money down and save money from day one. So a good example would be if you have a 7 kW system, you're saving about 120 bucks a month in power. Your payment's going to be about 85 bucks. So right off the bat, just by signing on the dotted line, you're saving 25 bucks a month. Now, I wouldn't encourage you to go the long-term plan and plan on paying for that for 25 years, but you can. You know, it's a good leverage of the asset. But there are so many cool opportunities out there, whether it's a cash deal or financing or going to your you know, credit union or something like that. Really, solar pays for itself. So you get that number below 10 years, I would really recommend you look into buying into solar.